Okay, we are now recording.
Perfect.
Yo. What's up? My name is Jawan Rohan. This is the Misguided Podcast. We intend to guide you to a better future. I'm sitting here with Tyler Leclerc of TJL Training. Good morning, man. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I can't complain. Can't complain. It's Sunday morning. It's currently 9:30 and the sun's out, so that's good. It's been raining here the last couple of days, so I feel a little bit better about the weather today.
Nice.
Yeah, how's the weather over there? Is it cold?
Yeah, pretty much same thing. It's supposed to start getting nice this week, but last couple days still cold, rainy, a little bit of snow, unfortunately, in April up here in the Northeast. But
Climate change, man. Climate change. That's good, man. Did you do anything fun this weekend?
uh, nothing crazy. A lot of busy day yesterday. Training had like 5 sessions. Ran, worked out, did all that kind of stuff. So
What's kind of the average training sessions in a day that you have?
it depends. So during the week, I would say it's between 3 to 4 a day on the higher end. During the weekends, I'd say it's between 4 to 6 sessions. On Saturdays, at least. Sundays, I try to take off. During the summer, it's obviously kind of different because most kids are out of school. It could be anywhere from 6 to 8 sessions a day.
Hmm.
Sometimes obviously less, sometimes more. So it just kind of depends on the time of day. Depends on the month. Depends on the seasonality of the business. Obviously, like most businesses, it's seasonal. So
Yeah.
sometimes they're busier, sometimes they're less busy. So.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. I always like to start the podcast of letting the audience know how I found you, right?
Hmm.
And so I just on TikTok got on the algorithm. When the
Hmm.
algorithm hits, it hits, right? So like just got on this basketball algorithm and started seeing your videos on TikTok, and then I was like, oh man, this is like really cool. Like I've never wanted to coach, and I played college basketball, and a lot of people
Hmm.
ask like, how come you don't get into coaching? I'm just like, I don't know if that's something I want to do. But owning a gym, I never really thought that was possible, right?
Yeah.
Like and so I was like, oh, I kind of like that. So I click follow, and then I
Hmm.
was like, oh, he has a YouTube channel. And I think the first video I went to on your YouTube was you actually explaining the cost and
Yeah.
like the breakdown of what it takes to open a gym. And I was hooked right then and
Hmm.
there. I was like, okay, I love this dude's transparency. I love how young he is and just like the ambition. And yeah, so I reached out. You you kind of responded, and I appreciate it. So thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So that's how I kind of ran into you. But yeah, I wanna definitely get into your story. So we can start from the very beginning. Where are you from?
I'm from Dunstable, Massachusetts. Small little town. There's like literally 3 to 4 thousand people that live in that little town. So it's probably about 45, 50 minutes outside Boston.
So like
So
two people play basketball.
yeah, basically. I mean, we were surprisingly pretty good for the amount of kids that we had in our high school when I was playing. But yeah, it's very low key. I was born in Lowell, moved around a couple times, and then I ended up in Dunstable for the majority of my childhood. So played there, played AAU basketball, did the whole nine, and then went on to play in college for a year. I always knew I kind of wanted to do my own thing, so I started picking up training. My senior year of high school was training other people, and then I went to college, still kind of training people on the side. Didn't like the college system, didn't like what it represented, and my path. I was like, I just don't need this for what I want to do. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur of some sort. I knew I wanted to kind of combine at least starting out basketball and business to do my own thing. So I was like, hey, this college thing, waste of time, waste of money. I'm going to go and just try to do this on my own. Dropped out of college after year one, worked a full time job, trained on the side, got to the point where I was training more than I was working. So then I just decided, you know what, hey, I'm just going to try to go all in on this, went all in on that. 2, 3 years later, training every single day, working, saving every single penny I could. Eventually got to open my first gym the day before I turned 22. And then I got my second gym when I was 24. So,
Nice. Okay.
yeah.
I didn't know you had two gyms. I thought it was just one, but we'll get into that definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So have you always had this entrepreneurial like spirit in you, even as a kid?
Uh,
Where
I
do you
would
think it
I
came from?
wouldn't necessarily say so. I think more so once I got into like sophomore junior year of high school, it became a lot more. I've just always been a very curious person, so I've
Mm.
liked to. I wouldn't say read because I hated reading up until like
Me
my
too.
senior year of high school.
Yeah,
Now I
yeah,
read a book a week.
yeah.
Um, but I've always been very curious. Like I love watching YouTube videos. I love going down certain rabbit holes, learning different things. Curious about what people do, and just like being able to follow people's passions and how there's just so many different things that you could do to make money. That I
Hmm.
was just like, I just don't need to go to college and do this
Yeah.
traditional route. I would say it's more so just wouldn't say it's an entrepreneurial spirit. I would say it's more of a not following what everyone else is doing mindset. And that led me to be an entrepreneur.
Most definitely. How were you as a player in high school? What position? What was kind of your role on the team?
Yeah, so I was a shooting guard. I would say more so should have been a point guard, but I was a shooting guard, scoring guard, so I averaged probably around 20 points a game. And I started from junior year or sophomore, junior, senior year. So yeah, we were a pretty good team. We made it to like quarterfinals of the state championship like twice. So we were solid. We were a solid team, and then I went into college, and that was kind of the same thing, just a shooting guard. Didn't play a whole lot. We were like ranked 20th in the country for D3 when I was there. So we were
Salem State.
Yeah, Salem State. So we were solid, but it just the basketball became more like a job, and I just was like, this is not it. So I just wanted to become a trainer. I like the training aspect. I like the process of it more than I actually like enjoyed playing. So I was just like, I want to do this.
Especially like when you get a good trainer, a good coach, and the drills are fun. You know what I mean? They're not like the boring slide your feet type of shit. You know what I mean? Like when they're fun drills, man, practice could sometimes be more fun than the game.
Exactly.
And I think that's what makes a good trainer right there. And also being able to relate to a player, because not every player can learn the same way. And I think I didn't realize that until probably college, that like just people have different learning habits, right? And so you have to be able to adjust. I've worked with kids and trained like little kids basketball. I haven't trained like high school or anything. But I realized that when I was in my training spot after college. But that's cool, man. That's really cool. So yeah, I was looking at some of your videos on Huddle, man. It looks like you had a really good shot. Like,
I could shoot. That was probably one of my specialties. So.
Yeah, it was quick too. I like it. Nice. Do you still kind of play like any men's league or anything like that?
Honestly, no. So I was, for the first like year or two that I had the gym, I was still playing a decent amount, and most people are surprised. Like, oh, I don't really play basketball as much anymore. But my kind of reasoning is I'm in the gym all day.
Yeah.
It's like if you're a personal chef, like the last thing you want to do when you leave your work is to go cook more food.
For sure.
So it's like if I'm in the gym all day, the last thing I really want to do is to play more basketball. I love working out. I love running, doing things outside of the gym, boxing, all like cross training. So I'm still very active. I just don't enjoy playing as much. I do, but also I don't want to get hurt and then I can't train. So that affects my business. So I'm like, you know what? The risk more times than not isn't usually worth the reward, because most of the kids that are asking me to play are high school kids or kids that don't take it seriously. So I'm like, why am I going to play if you guys aren't going to take it seriously and me risk getting hurt? It's just not worth it.
Most definitely. I agree. So, I want to touch base on what you mentioned before. You said you quit college after a year and then went and worked a job. What was that job?
So I was working at a golf course. It was honestly one of the best jobs I only had a handful, but
dude, I've actually heard that a lot of people that worked at golf courses like absolutely love it.
Yeah. And for a job, like it was great. Number one, I'm outside all day. Number two, I'm interacting with people, so it's not like I'm sitting behind a desk all day and not getting to talk to people.
Rich people too. So
exactly. So it's good people, good connections. I was outside, I was active. So I enjoyed it, honestly. I mean, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it like, oh, I want to do this forever, but like for a job, previously I was doing landscaping, so that was a lot of manual labor. I was working for a moving company before that, like part-time here and there, like when I was 18. That was terrible. I was working at a grocery store before that. So like all those previous jobs compared to that, it was way better. So I was like, this is good. And for the time, it was better money than most jobs that I would have had. So I was like, it was good. So it was a perfect job for what I needed it to do and where I was at. So it was good.
Yeah. Question about like when you kind of saw the opportunity to even start that first camp or training session, like what even led to like, all right, I'm gonna go for this. I was reading an interview and I think you started with like $20 or something. So like, can you talk about that?
Yeah. So I first started training basically right when I graduated high school, or I was training, but not like charging for training. So when I graduated, I was like, okay, let me try to train this summer. Let me try to charge.
How old are these people? Because you're like young.
No, I was training just like high school kids mostly. So I was a senior. They were like freshman, sophomore.
Oh, so, shit. Okay.
Nothing crazy. And it was all local kids. So I was charging maybe $10 for a group session per kid and $15 if it was just like a one-on-one. So literally nothing. And I was even scared to charge that at first because I was like, I feel like I'm robbing these kids because I'm enjoying it. Like this is fun for me. And I'm getting paid to do it. So I was like, this is crazy. And obviously I was giving them a lot of value, so it was worth it. But I was like so scared at first to charge that $10 to $15. because I was like, yo, like this is something that I actually enjoy doing, and I'm making money doing it. It felt like illegal. So that's kind of how I first started and got into it. And then I just slowly, progressively scaled from there. Then while I was in college, I was training a couple kids that were on the team or trying to. Some of them I would try to offer to train them for free just so I can get practice. And they would just be like, nah, I'm good, dude. Like, whatever. And then funny enough, they come back around years later once I'm doing what I'm doing. Like, hey, can I train with you? It's like, nah, dude, sorry.
I'm Drake Petty too. So I get
it. Yeah. So that's kind of how it started. And then after that, once I was like working, once I dropped out, I was just working and training. I just had a facility that I trained out of, paying per core time. And it was just anyone that I could train, I was training. Didn't care who it was, how good they were, what their attitude was. Training people I didn't want to train. I was just grinding it out, getting as much experience as I could and just trying to slowly build a business. So
yeah. And you're doing that simultaneously while working the golf course, right?
Yep. So my routine for about 9 months was I was working at the golf course, usually either 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock start. So I would get up at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, go to the gym, work out, then go to work for say 7 to 3. I would come home. I would get to the other gym to train from about 4 to 6 or 7. Then I would come home, watch film, read, study, and then go to bed and do it all over again 6 days a week.
Yeah.
So I was probably working like 60, 70, 80 hours a week.
And at this time, I'm assuming you're just stacking up money, right?
Exactly.
Like did you have the goal of I'm going to buy a gym soon? Let me stack this money? Or
so it was honestly more so real estate. I wanted to get into real estate. My goal was to get a real estate property before I got a gym. Nice. But that's when COVID happened. So I had all the money saved up.
Yeah.
But then COVID happened. I was like, this is kind of more important for me to get a gym now than a property. So I ended up getting the gym first. And especially because once COVID hit, I was training outside for about a month or two. And then I went back to the gym that I was training at. They got a new owner. And he was like, yo, we're raising the rental prices on this. So I was like, at that cost that he was trying to charge, I would be paying more to rent somebody else's gym than I would if I had my own gym.
So
I was like, it just makes sense for me to go and get my own.
Yeah, I was going to ask, like, how much in the beginning before you had your own gym, how much were you paying to rent that hour to bring the people in? And then how much were you charging them at that time?
So before COVID, it was like $10 to $15 an hour.
Per hour? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, so it was nothing.
Yeah.
And granted, that was like 4 years ago, and there was a big facility. And I was also getting that price because I was training there 20, 30 hours a week.
Gotcha.
So whatever that cost would be. And then the guy who was coming in after was like, hey, we're going to raise it to 25 an hour. And then he was like, but then after a couple months, we're going to bring it up to 35 an hour. So if I'm training 20 hours or 25 hours a week, that's $100 a month times $25. That's $2,500 a month. And then obviously if he's raising it, that's a lease payment. So I was like, it just makes sense to go and get my own gym. I'm going to pay the same, but I control the gym. I control my schedule. I can rent it out to other people and make more money.
So when you do these sessions, though, let's say it's an hour, are you bringing in like 5 players, or you try and keep it like a certain number or just one person?
So I was doing both. I would do group sessions, and then I would also do just solo sessions. So I was before COVID, I was charging, I think, $50 to $60 for like an individual session. Okay. And I was primarily getting those. So once COVID happened and this guy raised the prices, I went from being able to make say 35 an hour to being able to make 25 an hour for like the solo session. So that cut a large amount of what I was making. And then the group sessions was obviously more where the money was, because I can get 8 guys paying $30 an hour, time whatever minus the court fee. So that's kind of what the numbers were like then. And then obviously I had to increase my prices. And then once I got my own gym, then everything kind of changed from there. So
how the hell do you, I guess what I always fear is because basketball is so ever evolving, right? Like, I mean, the game today ain't even the game when we were in college, when you were in college, when I was in college, like, you know what I mean? The moves, just everything. So like, how do you keep up with what to give this new generation? Like these guys are coming to you and they're 15 years old and they're like, look, I want to be Giannis, or I want to, be Jalen Brunson. Like there's just different moves that we didn't grow up on. So like, how are you evolving?
I mean, I would say it's more so just paying attention to the game, keeping kind of your pulse on where things are at. But luckily, where a lot of the majority of players are, they still need a lot of the more simple stuff. Like, okay, you want to be Jalen Brunson, that's cool, but like you still can't hit a fucking 3-point shot. So let's start there. You know what I mean? And then a lot of what a lot of these players need is more so from the mental side, confidence, I don't want to say basics, I'm not a huge fan of that word, but more so a lot of the simple stuff, fundamental stuff.
Well, it is fundamentals. Yeah, for sure. You need that foundation before you can start doing these fancy moves, right?
Yeah. So
like if you have no left.
Exactly. Like if you can't shoot a jump shot, if you can't make basic decisions, if you can't play defense, then like what are we doing trying to learn a 17 combo move? So
yeah.
I wouldn't say it's that difficult from that sense because a lot of these players aren't at that level where that very minute differences make an actual difference in their game.
Makes sense. What's kind of like the highest level player you've trained so far?
So I have a handful of pro guys that play overseas, different countries, China, Japan, Argentina, South America, like all that kind of stuff. So that's predominantly the highest level that I currently work with. I would like to get some NBA players. I'm not huge on it, where I think a lot of trainers like, I need to have an NBA guy. I just want to work with NBA guys. But a lot of the people that work with NBA guys, they work with them for free. And I don't really have an interest in doing that because I don't feel like
they're trying to just piggyback later down the road.
Exactly. It's like you just want to work out because it's free. You want to have someone rebound. That's cool. But if you don't value me, I'm not going to value you. So I have no interest in working with you. So I'd rather work with people that value what I'm bringing to the table and I want to help them get to the next level and they really care about it. So I don't care if that's a fourth grader. I don't care if that's a high school player. I don't care if it's a pro player. If you want to get better and you have a burning desire, I'll help you.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with that. Question though, about like, you're in such a small town still. Are these people from like overseas flying in to like train with you, or are they from your town?
I'm in Lowell, Massachusetts now. So that's where my gym is. And then I have my other gym is in Woburn. So that's 15 minutes outside of Boston. So it's not too far, but a lot of these people just live in New Hampshire. They live 45 minutes away. So they just can drive in. And the gym I have in Lowell is right off the highway. So it's very easily accessible.
Yeah, and Lowell is pretty popular too. So
yeah.
What how far are the gyms apart? Sorry.
Like 25 minutes.
Okay. Cool.
But during rush hour traffic, it's like 45. So
yeah. Okay, cool. Let's go ahead and talk about how you got that first gym. I mean, I know that feeling was amazing. How long did it take to find? And then why was this one the one?
So I initially started looking for a gym. I think it was right before COVID. So I think it was January of that year, or maybe a little bit before that. So I looked at a couple of different gyms because it was obviously on my radar that it's something I want to do. And then I looked at the actual spot that I have now and I was like, I don't know. I don't think that's the one. Like, I'm just going to keep looking, and then put it off for maybe a couple months. Then COVID hit, waited a couple months, a month or two. I was training outside, got back into that gym that I was training at. Then the new guy came in, whatever. So I was like, all right, now it's time to look again. So I looked at a couple more gyms and then I came back up upon this one. They made a couple different additions to it, made it look a little bit better. And I just knew location-wise, it was the best one. It's less than a mile off the highway. It's off two intersecting major highways. So it's perfect location. It's 20 minutes from where I was currently living. So it's not too far where I was like, had to drive 50 minutes towards Boston to train every single day. That'd be a little bit of a hassle. So, and it was close to where I was already training. So it was about 15 minutes. So my current clientele could easily go and train at that gym, where I didn't want to get a gym 50 minutes away from the kids that I'm currently training because I'd have to rebuild the whole entire business. So from that sense, it made the most sense. There was another gym that I was looking at that was a little bit nicer. I would have had to put less money in, but it was a little further away. Location wasn't as good. So I was like, hey, I'm going to put a little more money into the gym that I have now, the one that I picked. Great location. It makes the most sense. And it was a little bit cheaper. So I was like, this is perfect. Good location. Had everything that I needed. Was big enough, but not too big to the point where like I was going to be spending 10 grand a month right off the rip. So from that sense, it was perfect.
Wait, but if I remember correctly from your videos, the places weren't gyms before. What were they?
It was just like an industrial garage. I think it was like some car thing. So they had, I don't even know what they did in there, but it was something with cars and trucks and I don't know.
Okay.
So I had to completely build it out.
Yeah. When you find it, you're negotiating with the landlord. Were you able to negotiate any rent? What did he want up front? First month rent, last month, what insurance? What did he want?
So I needed insurance. It was first, last, and security. So it was, I think they were on the market for $3,300 a month. I got it down to $3,100 a month. And then I needed first, last, security. So that was $9,300 up front plus insurance, which was very difficult to try to get because I had no idea who to call, who to talk to, because having insurance for a training business is very different from having it from a gym.
I was just about to ask. Tell me about that, because I feel like that would be the hardest part. Is finding insurance.
That was the hardest part. So I was on multiple phone calls with people, and obviously, if you're calling insurance places, like sometimes like, yeah, I'll put you on hold, put you through to this person. You're on hold for 30 minutes, and you talk to this person, like, yeah, this is the wrong department, or we can't do this. So I'd waste an hour on a phone call trying to find out if they can do it, and they can't do it, and then I'd call somebody else. So eventually stumbled on the right people. So they've been great, and I've been able to kind of give that to other people who are in the same process to save them some time. Luckily for them, but I had to kind of figure it out on my own. So
what's the company you ended up going with insurance?
It's called Camp Team.
Camp Team?
Yep.
Nice. That's what's up. And they cover pretty much like training. Do they do like actual gyms, like Planet Fitness?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know what they do in terms of that, but yeah, just gyms and anything kind of similar.
Nice. That's what's up. And then okay, so you got the insurance, you got all the 9,300 to open the gym. What's the first kind of breaking thing? So you get that keys and you're like, all right, what's first? Floor?
Yeah.
I would assume.
So floor. So we had to clean the floor because there was a lot of like oil on the floor. So the floor that they were putting on top of it, they had to like partially stick to the floor. So if there was a lot of oil, it would have made it difficult. So we had to like clean the floor for multiple hours. Paint. That was
how the hell do you even how the hell do you even find someone who does basketball floor? I don't think I've ever seen someone install it.
So you can't just conveniently enough, one of the kids that I trained, his dad owns a business that did that.
Oh, that's
perfect.
Yeah, that's perfect. So, did you get a discount?
Yeah, slight discount.
Nice. So he's like, I train myself for the low.
So no, yeah, that was good. So I knew like going in, like, hey, okay, I'm getting a gym. I already know who I'm gonna have install the floor, and I know that I can trust them. So I know it's going to be good. So I didn't have to have that as a worry. Now, obviously, there's places like Sport Court or whatever you can get a cheap floor. I wanted to get something better, so that's why I went with these guys. But that was great because I didn't have to worry about it. Now it was obviously a process getting it there, lining everything up, paying for the floor. Like I could have bought a whole new nice car, but instead I bought a freaking floor for a gym.
How much was the floor?
It was $20,000 at the time.
Jesus. And how big was the space square footage wise?
So the square footage of the actual court is only 2,500.
Only?
So
that's pretty big.
No, I mean, it's
like
not
decent.
small, but I mean, it's not compared to like obviously a multi-court facility, but
yeah. I always wondered too, because your first gym is not full court. Why?
So I ideally wanted a full court, this is what a lot of people who reach out to me like, hey, I want to open a gym, but I want to have a full court. I want to have 4 courts. I'm like, that's great, but it's also A, not easy to find that.
Yeah.
B, sometimes when you have 3-4 courts, it's tough to fill it out. So like the facility that I was at before, they have like 12 courts.
Yeah.
But only usually 1 or 2 are used. So you're wasting all that space on 10 extra courts that aren't used. So I was like, hey, ideally I want a full court, but half court's perfect because I'm a trainer. My main business was going to be training, and then I was going to rent it out on the side. Yeah. Now, a lot of people don't like playing full court because they're not in good shape. So a lot of the people that rent the gym might be just regular guys who are 30, 40 years old, just want to play hoop, but they don't want to run up and down the court all the time. They want to just play 3-on-3, 4-on-4, or they just want to come in and shoot by themselves. So it's worked out perfectly for that because it's cheaper than renting a full court. And it's very accessible to a lot of different people, whether, like I said, it's just a parent and their kid, whether it's me training, or whether it's just a group of guys wanting to play 3-on-3. So it's perfect for that.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. What's the youngest age you coach or train?
Usually like 7 to 10 years old is the youngest.
What's the oldest?
Oldest, I've worked with people who are like 35, 40 years old before, who just like want to start training again and just stay in shape.
Yeah, I fucks with that. I like that. I feel like that's gonna be me.
Those people love it, especially because it's tough when you get to that age and you don't really have anything that's competitive or serious where you can like really work and have someone hold you accountable. So people that do it love it. Now, a lot of people just don't, but can't blame them.
That's what's up. Okay, so you get this gym, floor goes in, paint goes up. Obviously, the next, I feel like, most expensive thing, and correct me if I'm wrong, is the hoop. How the hell do you even find the hoop? You're not ordering that shit on Amazon.
Yeah, I mean, you can't surprisingly nowadays.
Oh, okay.
So there was a guy that I know who put in a hoop for someone that I knew. So I was like, hey, can this guy install the hoop for me and my spot?
Oh, you're just getting all the plugs, man.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that's the beauty of the training is I have a million different connections because I train 500 different kids over 5 years, and one guy's dad does this, one guy's dad does this, boom, boom, boom. So I can go and do that. Now I found him after I already kind of started to open the gym, but luckily it worked out. He bought the hoop, which I could have bought it if I wanted to. I could have installed it if I wanted to, but it might not have been straight, but I could have done it.
How much was the hoop?
It was $37.50, I think, for an install, and then the other hoop was $17.50, I believe.
Wait, so you have 2 hoops?
There's 2 hoops.
How are they laid out?
If they're it's just one here and then one here. So it's just like at the half court, just so it's like I have an extra hoop.
Do the 3-point lines like overlap each other?
So I only have the lines for the main hoop.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if I remember correctly, I think like what on the 3-point line in the at the very top of the key, there's not a lot of room, right?
There's enough room. Yeah. It's like, so it's a full NBA length half court. So it's 50 by 50. So there's enough room on this end so that it doesn't feel cramped.
How the hell did you? I guess I would always worry about like making sure the line, like the 3-point line, the elbow, all of that is like to code, right? To NBA code or whatever. Did you do that, or did you have someone go do the lines for you?
Yeah. So the guy who put the floor in, they also do the lines.
Oh,
which is great. Cause
yeah.
I wouldn't want to do that because I would not want to mess it up.
Yeah, but it would look like an oval for me.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna risk that. Some things you could try to do yourself. Some things it's just better to get someone who's a professional at it.
For sure. Well, I guess since we're talking about costs and kind of starting, if you don't mind, just giving like a quick breakdown of the most expensive things. And we just talked about 2 of them, but things maybe that you didn't expect to pay for, and then how much it actually cost you to open the gym. Like the person listening today just needs $40,000 to open a gym. You know, how much did it cost you?
Yeah, so it was, like I said, the floor was like around 20. I think insurance was say 2,500. Then the hoops were probably 4,500 for the 2. Call it 5,000. Paint was probably another 1,000, 2,000. Some office supplies, random basketball stuff. I'm trying to think of what else was expensive. Obviously, the first last security, you need to have that. But I think the hardest part for opening a gym is that people are like, okay, like you said, like you can have 40, 50K, but you also need a business that's producing income, because they're going to look at that. They're not just going to let, oh, you have 50,000 so you can like rent the space. We want to see proof of funds. Do you actually have money? So that way, if the first month doesn't go good, that you can actually continue to pay your rent. Do you have a legitimate business? Do you have a proof of concept? Most people go in, they're like, hey, I just kind of want to open a gym because I'm passionate about it. That's great, but passion doesn't pay the landlord. You know what I mean? So they want to make sure, hey, you've actually done this before. As a trainer, they want to see maybe your tax returns. Like, does this actually work? Do you actually make money? Yes or no?
Who's asking for this? Landlord?
Landlord usually, yeah. Just to kind of protect them, so that way there's not like 2 months in, I can't pay for it, and then they have to evict me and pay for all these lawyer fees and then all that shit. So
it's the same shit with real estate. I'm a realtor.
Yeah, exactly.
So same shit. I guess, did you have to? A lot of people always get caught up. You know, TikTok started an LLC doing that. Did you have one or not yet?
Yeah, I had an LLC already for I think a year or 2 before that, because I was doing all the training stuff. So I was a business for about a year or 2 doing the actual training stuff.
Nice. Did you use any business credit?
Nope.
No. Do you use it today or no?
No.
Nice.
Which looking back, like, oh, maybe especially during that time, if I knew that, I was obviously only
that was cheap money.
Yeah, I would have had it for 1%. Like, ridiculous. So if I knew that then, I would have. Which I think it was early COVID, so a lot of those rates haven't really dropped hard to that point yet. But if I knew that then, I definitely would have done that. I would have just got business credit at 1% interest rate. And not used any of my cash. I could have got a gym and I could have got a property at that time.
Yep, very true, very true. Okay, so yeah, someone could start with 40,000. How much were you all in? Do you remember?
I think it was like 50. I think 50? Once it was all said and done, and then obviously you have your monthly recurring expenses. But so if you don't have a business yet, then it's like you're spending. Sometimes people aren't green the first couple of months where it's like, hey, we're losing money. But I was in a position where I had all the clientele, so I was just able to transfer all that clientele from that gym to this gym, so I was already making money on the first month, so which is very helpful.
Yeah, no, I agree. Let's talk recurring expenses. That's something very important. A lot of business owners kind of forget. They're like, all right, I did it, right? And then I don't have the income to kind of support it. So biggest recurring expenses for you, what is insurance one? Because you said you paid $2,500
per year.
Oh, it's per year.
Yeah. Okay. So you could calculate that out to $200 a month or whatever.
Got you.
So, and then utilities, Wi-Fi. So I would say for the first gym, lease is now 33 plus insurance plus utilities, probably like looking at like 43 to 45. That's not including like having to get new equipment. That's not including other things that come up that just break and then you need to buy new things, or something's wrong with the sink, so you need to pay for that or whatever. But that's just like very bare minimum expenses, like 43 to 4,500.
Yeah.
Not including any payroll or anything like that either. So.
Oh, you have payroll? But besides yourself?
Yeah.
How many trainers you got?
I got 1 trainer, 1 content creator.
Oh, okay. Nice. Content creators like full time?
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's
Yeah.
good. That's what's up. And then the other trainer, how'd you find that trainer? Who did close
So
friend?
that was just through social media. And then so
Really?
that was once I got the second gym. That was I did everything at the first gym and I was just training there. I didn't need a second trainer because I was just training and I was there 24/7 basically.
Do you
So
think
once
you'll
I got the
get to a
second gym,
Do you think you'll get to a point where you could kind of like just watch and pop in and actually give advice to your trainers to
I
give
think
to the
so,
kids?
yeah. That's definitely the goal long term for sure.
Yeah, yeah, I fucks with that. Yeah, see, like I want a gym, like I want to invest in a gym, but
Hmm.
I don't want to be the trainer. So like
Yeah.
if someone can train and it's just like, look, I need like 20K to open a gym.
Yeah.
Like, let's cool, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Let's
yeah.
do it. But I don't want to be there. Like
Exactly.
I just want to
Yeah.
pop in and be like, oh, this is amazing. Like shoot around a little bit with the
Yeah.
kids and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But that's what's up, man. That's what's up. What's up with this Croatia kid, 15 years old? I saw this
Yeah,
video.
yeah. So he I think his dad found me on social media and I think he was born in Boston, but he's been living in Croatia for the last 7 years. And his dad just messaged me because they come back to Boston for the holidays. So he's here for a couple weeks. So his dad just reached out, hey, we follow you on social media. We'd love for him to work with you while we're home or while we're in Boston for a couple weeks during Christmas break. I was like, awesome, let's do it. So he's gonna be good. I think he might be coming to the United States next year to go to school here at a prep school, hopefully. And
How tall
then
is he? Looks tall.
6'8", I think.
Jesus, yeah.
Yeah, 15. So, and he's can move well, all that kind of stuff. So, hopefully, continue to work with him. He has definitely a bright future, good head on his shoulders, good parents, good resources around him. So,
Yeah. Let's talk about social media for a little bit because you keep mentioning it, like, oh, I found this person through social media. Right?
mhm.
You have a full-time social media guy. So, one, when did you realize how important social media was for you?
Mhm.
And then two, how did your social media take off? I mean, you're on Instagram, 45,000, YouTube, I think 18, 19,000.
Mhm.
You know, when was it that moment that was like, and then TikTok, I don't even know you, but you're popping. So
Mhm. I mean, I always realized as soon as I started, I think the first thing I did training wise was like, all right, I'm going to start posting on Instagram because I just knew everything that I was seeing when I was growing up, because I was growing up in high school 2013 to 2017. So I was watching a lot of stuff on social media. So I saw all the big time trainers and people in other industries doing a lot of social media stuff. And I just understood, okay, opportunity. If I want to grow this thing, it's just a good way to reach a lot of people that I can't do on my own on the ground. Like social media is just a very powerful tool. I understood that from the beginning. So I was always very big on it. I wasn't always good at it, still learning, but I just realized how important it was for the long-term vision of things. Like a lot of the things that I've been able to do have come through social media. This interview, most interviews that I've done come through social media. Business opportunities, people that I've met have all come through social media. So the ROI on social media is extremely big. So I
mhm.
just knew it was very important. So once I dropped out, essentially, I was like, hey, I'm going to post every single day, no matter what, sometimes twice a day, because I just had the time to do it. So I was like, I'm going to post as much as I possibly can. Through that process, I also got better at communicating. I got better at understanding my philosophies. And then obviously I started to build up clientele through that. So that was going to build my business both locally as well as abroad. And then I would never say that there was any moment that really blew up my social media. YouTube, I've been posting for like 3-4 years and I still am only at 20,000. So that's been a very, very slow grind. Obviously, there's been some videos that do really well.
But it
Same thing
looks
with,
very consistent though. Like
yeah, it's
all your
very
views,
consistent.
1.1, 1.4, 1.6, they're all within
Yeah.
that, you know, and I like that. That's because what that shows is like, look, the next video could just, you know
Yeah,
what I
oh,
mean?
exactly. When you throw enough shit at the wall, eventually it's going to stick, right?
For sure.
So that's been my theory in terms of like social media of being very consistent, providing value to people, and then obviously some videos will go viral or do really well, and that will help you grow. But as long as the quality is there, because a lot of people they go viral and then they go completely away, like nobody cares about them because they're not consistently providing value. So it's like I could go and post a bunch of videos on social media on YouTube and get viral. Like I could
Yep.
probably do that, but all my other videos to get to that point would just be shit. So people find me, then they go to my other videos and they're like, what is this dude posting? This is all just clickbait. This is all just to try to get viral. So when
Yeah.
you actually provide value to people, they're also more likely to pay you. They're more likely to want to work with you, to work for you, to do all this type of stuff. So it's always about what you're putting out. And I've always put a big focus on that and that's the quality of things and obviously the consistency. I've been very, very consistent with social media, probably at least one post per week on YouTube ever since I started. Instagram, probably average of 3 posts per week on average every single week. since I've started. So
yeah,
it's really just been consistency. Some people
That's
get lucky and have some really big ones. If I do get one of those, that'll be fantastic.
You'll get one, dude.
So
You'll get
no,
one.
100%.
Yeah. All right. So you got 2 gyms.
Mhm.
How much do you charge now per session? I'm sure your price.
Individual session with me now is 130 an hour.
Okay. Damn,
Yeah.
that's a big jump.
Yeah.
remember $10 a
Yeah,
day.
exactly.
Yeah, $10.
Exactly.
Okay. So 130 per session with you, and then I mean, what does that equate to monthly? Like, what are you bringing in monthly?
So it all depends. Some months I'm doing a lot of individual training. Some months I'm not. I do a lot of group training. I do court rentals. So it's all coming in from a million different
For
areas.
sure.
Some from social media, from YouTube, like all this different stuff. So it really depends on the month. But a large chunk of the money that I make during the winter is court rentals. I don't do as much training. So that's luckily why I enjoy having the gyms, is because it can operate as a business without me having to train.
Mhm.
So it all depends. Now it's different because of the second gym, but before I would say it was anywhere around 15 a month before I had the second gym. So
Yeah. Nice.
just with the one gym with just me and the content.
Do you notice one gym does like extremely well than the other one, or are they kind of equal?
No, they're pretty equal now.
That's
equal
good.
now. Yeah.
That's
so and now we're expanding with more camps and obviously more training and more online stuff. So
I want to talk about that next, actually. Cool. But before we get to like the camps and kind of your website, which I really love, man, whoever did your website, really good job. But I want to do a segment where I do with every entrepreneur and business owner that comes up here. And that segment's called Hella Misguided. If you're unfamiliar, hella is a word that we use here in the Bay Area. But it means, a lot. So that I typically ask one question. That question is, if you were to write a letter to your 18-year-old self, what would a summary of that letter be?
Good question. I would just say continue to stick to the path that you see for yourself, because a lot of people will tell you what they want you to do or what worked for them, but that's not always what's best for you. So follow what you think is best for you and stay true to that and stay true to your values. Because I would say that's been my philosophy for the most part, and that's led me
to where you are now.
Pretty well. I'd say it's worked out pretty well.
I like it. Random ass question. How has pickleball rentals picked up recently?
Honestly, not much at all.
What? Yeah. I feel like it's a thing now.
I know it is, but for whatever reason, people aren't flocking to it at that specific spot in that way. So
maybe it's in just Massachusetts, because I feel like California, the weather's better, right? So like pickleball outside is like super popular here. But okay, that's what's up. Let's talk about these virtual programs you have. I really like when you click on them that it kind of, especially the off-season transformation course, it takes you to a video and you explaining the video, quick video. You know what I mean? I really like that. What made you want to do these virtual programs?
So just being able to reach a larger audience. I can only affect so many people in person with my time. That is the easiest way for me to scale my time and to essentially be more places at once and help people that are not local. So with social media and growing that, I had a lot of people that are in different parts of the world that wanted to train with me but didn't have the opportunity. So that was the next logical step for me, especially having the gym. I have 24/7 access to film whenever I want. So it was very simple to be able to put that program out and just be able to kind of multiply my philosophy and how I do things in person to how I do things, or to giving that program to people online. So it's been great. And the good thing with that is you make it once and you can sell it forever. So
damn, I'm trying to figure out the name of the guy that you kind of remind me of. And I used to buy his programs from basketball, like when we were in high school. And he was the guy who like would do all the basketball training, like dribbling programs. I'll find his name by the end of the interview. But I think you're going to be like, oh, I know who you're talking about. And like kind of the way the virtual programs that you have, the training facility and the consulting, I feel like exactly what he used to do. I'll find it though. Let's talk about the kind of the training. Like, one, is there competition or other people in your area that you had a gist of like how to price? Like, you know, when starting a business, that's very important, right? Like you got Starbucks and Pete's Coffee, right? You got to be kind of similar. I feel like you didn't have any competition. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how did you even like start with your pricing?
Yeah, so there was definitely a good amount of competition. There still is
Oh,
quote
okay.
unquote competition. I don't
Quote unquote.
really
I like
I don't really
that.
pay too much attention to what other people are doing. But at first I was just like, I'm gonna base it somewhat off what other people are doing
Yeah.
and just kind of go from there. And then once I kind of built my own value and what I believed I was worth compared to other people, I was able to just charge kind of what I felt like I should be charging. And
Yeah.
it's all about what people are willing to pay. If I'm charging $1,000, but people are willing to pay it, I can charge that amount of money. If I'm charging 100 and no one pays for it, then obviously I'm not worth that much. So
Yeah.
it's kind of just figuring out what the market is willing to pay for, what they value, what they see your value as, and just finding a good price point based on supply and demand that you want to be at. So,
Yeah. Let's talk about these camps. So you got a couple camps coming up. When did you start doing camps? How many people typically come to a camp? And how big is it in your city?
Yeah, so camps are pretty big in this area, at least especially in the summer. I have never really tapped into them as much because if I'm already training a lot of other kids, say high school, college guys, pro guys during the summer, I'm not about to go waste my time to babysit a bunch of third, fifth graders, right? So I was like, I just don't want to do that.
They're hilarious.
It's a great moneymaker, but I just don't have the ability to, like we were saying earlier, be in two places at the same time. And it just wasn't really available to me because I was in so many different places doing so many different things. So now with other people on the team, I'm able to kind of have them run the majority of it. I can do the marketing. We can leverage the client base that we have into these camps and be able to service more kids all throughout the day, especially in the summer. So if I'm training in gym 1, training the college, high school kids, we have someone doing the camp, and then we have someone training at gym 2, then we're able to reach a large amount of kids in one day and be able to reach college, pro, high school, middle school, youth kids, everyone all at the same time.
That's smart. Very, very smart. Talking about your facility again, do you have like a weightlifting kind of area? Do you do any type of weightlifting training?
No, so I don't. So I actually started out when I first started training, I was in performance training and basketball training. So I kind of did both because I originally went to college to be a strength and conditioning coach. That was kind of my background and passion at the time, was a lot of lifting, sports performance stuff. So at first I blended the two. But when I got the gym, didn't really have the space for it. But now at my second gym in Woburn, we are right next to Mike Boyle Strength Conditioning, which is one of the best performance trainers in all of New England. So we're very fortunate to have that. So if kids want to do both, they can go train with us and then go right next door, train with them.
Do you have a partnership with him where you're like, you send them kids or something?
Yeah. They'll send us kids, we'll send them kids. So
that's
it works out well. Yeah.
That's really awesome. Cool. Yeah. I want to talk actually about partnerships. Like, I'm sure the community has like been complete support. Hopefully, right? Like, has people come to you in the community? It's like, hey, like I'd love to like partner in some way. Are you partnering on social media with people?
Yeah, so I've had a good amount of opportunities. I would say I turned down pretty much most of them. I had more so when I was first starting out, where people kind of saw, hey, this guy like knows what he's doing in terms of the training, and they were trying to bring me onto their team to help build their thing. So I had maybe 3 to 4 people that already had the existing business, kind of like I have now, and they were trying to be like, hey, why don't you come on with us and do this? And I was
trying to eliminate the competition.
Exactly.
Smart. Yeah.
So, but I was just like, hey, like I want to build my own thing. Like I think I can build something substantial. So I would much rather do it my way than trying to join somebody else's thing. Even though in the short term, it probably made more financial sense. I'd probably make more money. I'd be training more. Yeah. Most people would take that because they're like, oh, I just want the short-term money. But I knew, okay, hey, long-term, this is the vision that I want to build. I'm going to do it my way. So I was like, hey, we can do like maybe some short-term stuff. We can be cool, but like, I just want to build my own thing. So I would say I got a lot more partnerships in terms of that early on. And then I'll have some with social media here and there. People ask me to do stuff, but it just doesn't align with maybe what I want to do or the message that I want to put out. So I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do it.
What's one that you have done?
I've done one with Puma for the Mellows. I did one with the Basketball Hall of Fame in the past.
Pumas with the Mellows. I gotta see that.
That was last July. If you go to my Instagram, you'll find it.
That's for sure got to be a big check, right?
It was solid.
It was solid. Puma how'd they reach out to you? Like in the DMs?
So I had like a manager guy at the time who was connecting me with like partnerships and stuff like that. So.
And you don't have them no more? What happened?
No, I just wasn't really getting a lot of it, and I just didn't want to focus a lot of time and energy on trying to chase partnerships and stuff like that. So I know if I continue to build big enough social media, I'll be able to do some that I want to do here and there. It was good. I mean, it was worth it, but
yeah. So your social media, was there like just a day where you woke up in the morning and you had like 1,000 followers, and then one day you had like 25,000?
No, I mean, there was a
It
couple
was
posts that did good. I've had maybe, which is like most things, right? 80% of your results is going to come from 20% of the things that you do. So I would say 80% of my followers have came from 20% of my posts, or really like 10 of my posts. But the only reason I got to that was because a lot of trial and error. The biggest thing with social media is you have to learn what works and what doesn't. So once you do a lot of action, you're able to figure out, okay, hey, this works, this doesn't. And then you're able to consolidate that into try to making a really good post. So I've had maybe 5 posts that did really, really well in the millions of views that have brought me a lot of followers. But for the most part, it's just been like a slow grind. Like I've posted over 1,000 times. There's plenty of people that have posted 1,000 times that have 1 million followers.
Yeah.
So it's just like, it all depends. Because obviously you could appease to the masses, but that's not necessarily what I wanted to do for my business and the clientele that I want. So it's like, you want to more so make sure you'd rather have 50,000 of the right people than 1 million of just random.
100%. Yeah.
So I was like, hey, I want to focus on quality as opposed to just a pure quantity of followers. So,
yep. Where do you kind of see TGL training taking off to? Do you see yourself opening more gyms in Massachusetts, or do you see yourself expanding to other states?
I mean, I could see that happening. I could see both happening. I would like to open one major facility that's bigger, consolidate both the gyms into one big full court gym, weight room, smoothie shop, PT place, all in one. I want to own the building, own the real estate. And that's kind of where I want to go for that. Now I could see myself branching out into other areas and partnering with people on opening gyms in other states per se, but haven't necessarily got to that. More so just focused on just kind of taking over and doing really well in the market that we're at. So
how many years has it been since you opened your first gym?
Opened the first gym 2020. So summer 2020. So September 2020. So it's been almost 4 years.
Yeah.
So
damn. Yeah. Congrats, man. That's a huge accomplishment.
Thank you.
Real. Did you ever get a chance to invest in real estate?
Not yet. That's my next step right now.
That's your next savings, right?
Yeah, I looked last year. I think it was last January or January before. And this was right before interest rates, or this was when interest rates were about to like really go up when they started increasing them really fast. I was like, I went to go look at 3 to 4 properties and they were getting 150 over asking, which I was like, this is ridiculous. This makes no sense for me to buy right now. Because I went to look at one that was like 500. It was like a multifamily duplex. And then I found out someone offered 650 for it. I'm like, I am not competing in this market right now. It doesn't make any sense.
You've been looking in like Massachusetts area?
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, like it's tricky because there's like no inventory, like good inventory. And the low inventory, you got like, there's competition. You're heading in spring and summer. If you're going to buy something, probably the best time for you is going to be to get like the best deal would be in the winter.
Yeah.
No one wants to kind of sell or move during like Christmas and Thanksgiving. So, even here in California, it's just like the prices are high, but they're still high. Like with interest rates. Yeah.
Inflation ain't slowing down anytime soon. So
yeah, not at all. Especially with this election year. Whoever wins, they got to make the economy look good on paper, at least until November.
Exactly. Nothing's happening until then.
Yeah. So cool. What's the biggest challenge you face today with the gyms? Like something maybe you didn't kind of see coming. Like, I don't know, it could be the randomest thing.
I mean, I would just say the biggest thing is just continuing to fine tune everything, getting better at acquiring, better retaining customers. Sure.
I think hold on, the internet. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay. Can you repeat that? What's the biggest challenge for you?
So I'd say the biggest thing is just like acquiring customers and then getting the right systems in place that it's duplicatable without me being there or without me having to be in the entire process. Because it's easy if you know what to do. Like say you're selling a house and it's like you're trying to have somebody else sell a house for you. Okay, I just got to go up and show up and I know what to do. But it's a lot different when as you grow things, if I want to continue to grow to a bigger gym and more people under me and things like that, like it has to be duplicatable. Even if I'm not there, I'm not the one doing it. So I would say that will and is, I would say the biggest thing is just making sure keeping the quality high and keeping it systematic across the board, no matter who's there. Yeah. Whether I'm there or somebody else is there, everything flows smoothly without problems and to the same degree.
Absolutely. What were some of the mistakes that you kind of made when starting the gym? Hey, like I installed the floor wrong as an example. I know you didn't, but like anything like that?
I mean, I would say like we were talking about in the beginning, if I was to take a business line of credit, that would have probably made the most sense at that period of time. For the long term, now when it comes to like finance stuff like that, obviously peace of mind is a big piece of that. So having the peace of mind that I didn't have that business line of credit was also nice. So I didn't have to worry about that. So it all depends on the person that you are. Wouldn't necessarily say it's a mistake, but I think for me and what I wanted to do, I think that would have been beneficial. I would say the other thing was not bringing on other people earlier on in the process and just wanting to do everything myself. So
I think that's the number one thing that holds entrepreneurs back. Even like 100%. Me, there were some things that was just like, I want to do it all. Like I can do it all, right? That like ego in you. And then you're like, damn, well, like I'm wasting my time on this, on social media, when I could just hire someone. I could spend more time training or getting more clients in, you know what I mean? Like, exactly. I definitely have struggled with that. And I've kind of opened up my eyes to that. So yeah. That's good advice. Cool, man. Well, this has been a great interview. I appreciate it. Typically how I wrap up the interview is with a segment called Guided Conclusions, where it's a question I didn't bring up in the beginning of the interview. And it could be sad, it could be funny, it could be anything. Are you ready?
Yep.
All right. What's one question you wish I asked through this interview, and then how would you have answered it?
Interesting.
Yeah, got you stuck right there.
You could be honest. First one that just comes to mind would be like, why do you train? Why do you do any of this stuff? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not necessarily that I would have wanted to answer it, but that's just the first thing that came to mind.
Well, I just feel like it's easy. I can Google you right now and figure out why.
Maybe. Why?
Because
you answered.
I like it. Switch the roles. I like it. I think you're passionate about it. I mean, just even watching the videos from you playing basketball, I could see like the quick movements. I think you're very interested. I think you're very into the actual game and learning. The very first thing you said in this interview was, I like to learn. Right. And so even reading your interview with Canvas Rebel, I just think you're very passionate about that aspect of it. And obviously you love basketball and you have history with basketball. So I think blending all those together is your why.
Yeah.
And I'm sure probably there's maybe like a little deeper cliche thing with, I just love seeing the kids, come and leave with a smile on their face or something like that too, which is awesome. But I think that's your why. Am I wrong?
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty accurate, especially at least starting. I'd say now it's more so just actually helping people, being able to make a difference in people's lives, and more so from off the court stuff. Basketball is cool, but like being able to shift somebody's mindset and beliefs in yourself, I'd say is way more important, and more so why I do it now. And obviously just the business aspect and the freedom and being able to create the life I want. So yeah.
No, I fucks with it. Good answer. I like how you flipped it. That was good. That was good. I have a friend who I've been sending your videos to. He's in the same boat as you. We used to hoop together since we were like 5. He played college basketball, D1 too, nice. And he's a trainer in Utah right now. Nice. And his business picked up a lot. And I'm like, look, man, let's buy a gym together. Yeah. Like I'll buy it, you train. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and so I just send him your videos like randomly. And he's like, oh man, yeah, we gotta sit down and talk because this is really good. And
where in Utah is he?
Park City? No.
Nice.
No, I have another friend there. I don't know where he's at actually.
Yeah.
I gotta figure out, but
because I just helped somebody. I was like consulting with somebody in Salt Lake, and they just actually opened up a gym out there. So.
Oh yeah. So I want him to. So I was gonna ask you, do you do like mentors with other trainers? Like if he comes to you and is like, hey, show me kind of the process of how to do this.
I've probably helped at least 5, 6, 7 people open up their own gyms. I just helped somebody up in New Hampshire. I helped somebody out in Salt Lake City. I helped somebody in almost like Connecticut area down by me, like way south. They're in the process of trying to open their own gym. So I help people all the time with that kind of stuff, or just like grow their training business. So
yeah, I'm gonna connect you with him because his like we did an interview or we just talked like a year ago, and then I touched base with him maybe 2 months ago, and I was like, how's business? He's like, dude, he got like 40, 50 kids right now. I'm like, oh, he's got to go to different gyms and stuff. I'm like, it's time. It's time.
If there's ever time, it's right there.
Yeah. So I'll connect you guys for sure.
Awesome.
Cool, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time out of your Sunday. Hopefully you get some relaxation today. But yeah, go ahead and let everyone know where they can follow you.
Yeah, Instagram at TJL Training. I would say that's probably the best way to find me. You can go to my website, TJL Training, contact me by email. You can find me on there. So, yeah.
Nice. Well, you guys heard it here. This is the Misguided Podcast. We're intended to guide you to a better future. My name is Juwan, sitting here with Tyler. Make sure you tap into the YouTube and tap into his training facility. Is it really good information and transparent information, which the Misguided is all about. So we'll see you on the other side. Thank you for watching.